Stop! If you're thinking of investing in flooring in your home, this is the video for you. One of the biggest mistakes that I see homeowners or home sellers making is they select the wrong flooring and they don't get a good return on their investment. Or better yet, some of you have perfectly great floors. Don't tear them out. In today's video, we're going to talk about the various different flooring options that are available to you. We're also going to visit 3 types of stores: a higher end designer store, a mid-range store, and also something very affordable like Home Depot. Choosing the right floors is very, very important, and you don't want to waste a lot of hard-earned money throwing it down the drain because you didn't have the proper guidance. And before we start this video, we're gonna cover a lot, and a lot of you are gonna be rolling your eyes halfway through. So I created a flooring cheat sheet for you. It's linked down below. Now, for those of you who are watching on TV, just go to my website, www.lambertgrouphomes.com. There's a resource link right there on the front page, and you can download this cheat sheet. For those of you who are watching on their mobile devices or on their cell phones, I will link the resource guide link down below in the description box. All right, just thought you should know that because we're covering a lot of material today. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about my favorite, which is of course the most expensive, and that is solid hardwood floors. And it's exactly what it sounds like. They're solid, so it's going to be much more expensive. For some of you, it's going to be very cost prohibitive to do that. So I would say on the low side, you're about $20 a square foot, can go up to $50 a square foot, even $100 per square foot if you have a specialty item like a reclaimed wood, something like that. Now, the benefit of hardwood floors, other than they're absolutely gorgeous, is that they usually are a lifetime investment. However, a lot of you think that you can just keep sanding down these hardwood floors until you get to the very last layer, and that's not necessarily the case. So most hardwood floors are installed by tongue and groove, which means there's a little divot, and you can only sand down to where the tongue and groove hit, because if you do anything deeper than that, you're going to see the nails. A lot of you don't know that. So still, treat your hardwood floors with great care. Always take care of your floors, and they usually will last you a very, very long time. Now, the downside to hardwood floors is that they do expand and contract with the temperature and the humidity. So if it's not installed properly, or you're living in very high moisture, high humidity climates, they can expand and buckle around the corners. It's not ideal. Pro tip, if you are installing hardwood floors, remind your installer, or if you're doing your own DIY, leave a little bit of room so that the boards can expand and contract by those baseboards. If you don't, they could buckle, and your buyer's going to hate it. Right now, I'm in a transaction where the hardwood floors have buckled because the homeowner did their own install, and now they have to rip out all the floors. It's just becoming an absolute nightmare. So these hardwood floors are a huge investment. Make sure you do the installation properly, or all that money could be just going right out the door. You don't want that to be you. Now, this is the flooring that I put in my house. It's an engineered hardwood floor. It's oak, by the way. I love hardwood floors, but honestly, it just wasn't an option for me, primarily because of the cost. On the main level of my house, it's a slab foundation, meaning concrete. So when you are installing hardwood floors, you got to hammer it into something, and it needs to be wood, okay? If you have concrete floors, the workaround is very expensive. So for you smarty pants out there, I know there's special glue. I know there's a vapor, layer and a moisture layer you can put in there, but it's very expensive to do. If you do not have a wood foundation or plywood to install hardwood floors, the workaround is going to be very expensive. And in my area, most of the homes have a concrete foundation. So I usually recommend this for most homeowners. It's more cost effective. It doesn't expand and contract. And that is the engineered hardwood floors. What is an engineered hardwood floor? It's technically a veneered floor, has lots of different wood products stacked on top of each other. That's the easiest way to explain it. You can see on the back of this panel, it looks like plywood. If I tip this over, you will notice there are multiple layers of wood or products stacked on top of each other. The very top layer is the hardwood layer. So you'll notice that it's very small on this board. And when you're purchasing any type of engineered hardwood or even vinyl, you want to ask how thick that top layer is. It can range from 1 mil all the way up to 6 mil. The higher the number, the more expensive the floor. Let's talk about the thickness of your engineered floors. It goes as low as 1 mil. And if you have a 1 mil coating of wood on your engineered floors, you probably can't resurface it. Now, for investments, I would not recommend a 1 mil. The minimum, and I mean minimum, is 2 mil. So if you're at 2 to 4 mil, You probably have 1 or 2 resurfacings. You can refinish it. Anything between, I'd say 5 and 6. You have multiple, let's say 3 to 4 different wears. Now remember, if you're at 6 mil, you're almost as good as hardwood floors. Because remember, I told you with hardwood floors, you can only grind down or sand down to where the tongue and groove is. So when you go to sell your home, I promise you, if you have engineered floors, your buyer is going to ask if there's any samples because they're going to look at the thickness of your board. So for investment purposes, I would say invest between 2 and 4 mil. This is 2 mil, 2 mil. I wasn't planning on living in the house very long because I sell my houses usually every 2 to 3 years. But with that said, I've lived on these floors for almost 9 years and they look perfect. I do take great care of them, however. So I love these floors and I do not regret installing them in my house. However, if I could do it all over again, I would have gone a little bit wider. So this is 7 1/4 width. I wish I would have gone maybe 9, 10 width. And I would have probably gone 7 foot, maybe 8 foot long in the plank. Now, I live in a really large home. So for some of you who are living in smaller homes, this might work just fine. Some of you have smaller hallways. I have really large hallways, so I would have liked kind of a larger board. I notice it, nobody else does. But when you have a smaller board, it just looks a little bit busier. The reason why I like that larger wood plank is because I have larger rooms, and I just think it looks a lot more classy. It's soothing, it's not as busy, and it makes the room look bigger. And where I see a lot of you homeowners or home sellers making the mistake is you have these thinner hardwood floor panels. Okay, they're really thin, like 2 inches wide. And you just saw your neighbor Betty across the street. She just put these luxury vinyl planks in her house and woo, she's trendy and she's talking about it and she's telling you how terrible yours look. I'm going to tell you that your thin little hardwood floors are better than her luxury vinyl planks. I know, don't kill me, don't kill me. You have hardwood floors installed in your home. Tearing those things out and replacing them with any type of product is going to be extremely expensive. And hardwood floors, even if they're engineered, are still beautiful. Now, I don't care what the finish is. I don't care the size. If you already have hardwood floors in your house, do not remove them. Do not replace them unless they're eaten up by termites or your dog scratched them all up, okay? Hardwood floors are timeless in my opinion. It doesn't matter what they look like. Keep them in your house. Keep them in your house. Don't get rid of them. It's a waste of money. All right, quick intermission. Please subscribe to my channel. The last 3 videos, I got so many people unsubscribing that I lost subscribers on my last 3 videos. And they're my 3 most favorite videos. Anyway, help a girl out. Please subscribe to my channel. I'd forever be grateful. Let's talk about the durability of the wood products out there. I'll put this chart on the screen for you. You'll see that this goes from softest to hardest wood. And the very softest wood that's on this chart is the cherry wood. Then it goes to walnut. A lot of you are thinking walnut's such a hard product. It's not. Then it goes to birch. Then it goes to oak. Remember, 90% of all the wood out there sold in domestic US is oak. Then it goes to maple, and then it goes to hickory. So each one of those wood products has a personality, and we can measure it on a scale. So you have character on one side and select on the other. Select means there's not a lot of knotting in the wood. There's not a lot of variation in the color. There's not veining. It's not distress. It's a very simple straight line panel. So when I bought my floors, I did something very simple. Do you see there's not a lot of knotting? It's pretty much just a solid board, very simple, no distress. This is considered select. And the reason why I select this board is for resale purposes. I want to appeal to the masses. When in doubt, go boring. Now, if you already have a wood floor that has a lot of character in it, meaning it has a lot of knotting, a lot of colors, might be distressed, don't worry about it. It's a wood floor. You can't go wrong with wood floors. But if you are in the market to purchase a home, I'm going to tell you to lean in more on the select style. And for those of you who are like, I think that's boring, Audra, your floors are boring. I hear you. So if you want to spice up your house, you go do it with your furnishings, with your accessories, with your artwork, but not your floors. This is a lifetime investment. One of the big mistakes I made in my kitchen is I did something really zany, and it's driving me crazy. Simple is better for some of these larger investments. So Audra, what floors do you recommend? Honestly, I would just do oak floors. You go to any flooring reseller, they're going to have a lot of oak floors options for you, so you have a lot of flooring to pick from. I wouldn't go too specialized. You know, I had this one client that had a Brazilian walnut, blah, blah. It's too exotic. It's too specialized. So you want to stick with the norm. Everyone understands what oak floors are. They're fairly reasonable because there's so much out there to pick from. So oak floors is my choice. You can always go with birch or maple, which are more that select style. The hickory, the cherry, and the walnuts have a lot more movement, so I would stay away from those products. I would say Oak floors. That's what I would do in my house if I had to redo them. What color of floors should you put in your home? Well, I'm going to recommend something natural, something neutral. I put blonde floors in my home because my home is really dark. For those of you who have a lot of light in your home, maybe you do a richer, warmer wood. It's really up to you. It's preference based, but don't go too zany. Don't go too dark. Don't get the black floors. Don't get the red floors. Don't get the bright orange floors or the bright yellow floors. Something that's very neutral. Look to nature as your guide. A lot of you bought some gray flooring back in the day during the farmhouse era. Don't worry. There's a lot you can do with that gray flooring. But if you're purchasing flooring right now, try to stay away from that. I would stay away from busy patterns on the floor. It just makes it too confusing and messy. And if you're putting hardwood floors or any flooring in that matter, I would take it throughout the entire first floor. A lot of you like putting tile in those kitchens and not bring in the hardwood floors all the way through the kitchen. And it just looks disjointed. It looks awful. There's nothing more discouraging. When I walk into a home, I love it until I get to the kitchen because the floors are now tile. Don't make that mistake. And by the way, most of those hardwood floors are pretty dang water resistant nowadays. The most popular flooring out there right now is LVP or luxury vinyl flooring. People love this. They swear by it. They love putting it in their kitchens and it's good for their dogs and they just love it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not in love with this product because it's fake and it makes a really awful sound when you walk on it. Look how short the panels are. They're short. I think this is about 4 feet. Look at my wood flooring here. See this? It's 6 feet tall. So when you install your luxury vinyl, it's a man-made product. So the pattern on the wood is going to repeat. So I immediately know when I walk into a house if it's LVP because I start seeing the patterns repeat and it gets busy. The other thing I don't love is the noise that it makes, right? It makes, let's see, it makes this plastic sound. Can you hear that? And I know last time I did this video, some of you were like, well, you can put glue and do this extra something. It doesn't make that sound. It will always make that sound because this is plastic, not wood. You just need to know that when you're buying this. Now you need to ask when you're buying these LVPs, what is the quality? How thick is the vinyl? Some of you have bought really high-end vinyl, which is about 30 mil, which is a very high-end luxury vinyl, which is beautiful. It's very hard to tell the difference between that 30 mil floor and an engineered wood floor, but they're about the same price point. These here range in price from $1.99 all the way to $3. One of them is 4 mil. The other ones go up to about 16 mil. So, I mean, they're decent. They're not a bad option. They're affordable, but just know they're fake. Now, I don't mind any of these colors. And of course, I will link all these options down below. I like these the best out of the ones that I found at Home Depot. Now, these are the other ones, put this up here, that I got at Home Depot that I really don't like. So you're going to stay away from these. Okay, here we go. So this is too red. Do you see how much movement there is in this? As soon as you lay about 20 of these boards down, you're going to start seeing this pattern start to repeat. It gets really busy. This one is too dark. Look how busy this is. Super busy, lots of veining. So when you put this down, you're going to see this big long line repeat throughout the entire room. I don't love that. The other one, this is the cheapest one of the bunch. I think this is 4 mil. This is gray. And look how short this panel is. I do not love this. You want to stay away from this. This is LVP. I don't hate LVP. I put it in my investment property. But in hindsight, I'm kind of now smartening up and I just want to do natural products. I wish I would have put a limestone or some type of tile in my investment property because it just lasts forever. But that's just my preference. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate. And I just got to say this for the record. I don't think it's a bad option, but just realize you're buying a man-made product. And I think 10, 20 years from now, people might say, yeah, I have vinyl plastic floors in there. And they're making it sound good when they're saying it's luxury vinyl. Folks, it's vinyl. Vinyl. Sounds like vinyl. So here's another fakey wood product from Home Depot. I know it sounds really mean, but it's this porcelain tile. I don't love the gray. I don't like the veining. If you were to put this throughout your entire house, it's going to look really busy. Now, what you may not know about porcelain tile is that the grout lines are usually pretty thick because you can't really consistently cut porcelain tile evenly. So the installer has to put kind of those bigger grout lines. Now, some of you have reached out saying, no, my installer did a great job. You couldn't tell. So maybe they're getting better. But bottom line is it's very expensive to install this and it's even more expensive to remove it. So if you're thinking about putting some wood flooring in your home, the beautiful thing about LVP is it's pretty reasonable to install and not so bad to remove as well. These are some tile options that I picked out from Home Depot. This one, I don't love. It's meant to look like marble. It's not marble. We don't like fake products, okay? I'd rather just a simple white tile as opposed to this. I do like the shape of it, but it's shiny and it's a wannabe marble. This next one is porcelain tile. It's busy. Now, I do think this is really interesting. I think that's kind of neat. Maybe in a shower, maybe not. You can't go wrong with boring, but this is too busy. Now, my old daughter would have been all over this. I think it's really interesting. The next tile I really like. Let's pull it up. This is super neutral. You guys see how plain this is? Plain. Anyone would like this or not like it. You don't really have an opinion on it. I like the shape of the tile. It's very reasonable. I would put these on the floors. I put them in the shower. And I will link all these down below as well. I almost forgot about laminate flooring. Not a bad option right now. In past videos, I kind of poo-poo laminate. There's some decent options. I'd say it's right below LVP. It's water resistant. It's not waterproof. It's more affordable. However, when you go to sell your home and you tell your buyer that you have laminate floors or laminate this and that, it's kind of has a reputation for being a little bit cheap. So if you can step up to maybe an LVP, perhaps, but I'm telling you what, folks, that laminate flooring is not a bad option. I was pretty impressed when I went on my search this last week. My suggestion, just for long-term return on your investment, that you stick with traditional flooring. So you're not going to want to do cork flooring or concrete. And I had one client that put asphalt in his house because he owned a business. Like, no, it was kind of cool, but no, it kind of wasn't. It was weird. So you want to stick to mainstream flooring because it's just going to appeal to the masses, and more than likely, you're going to get a higher return on your investment. I'm not in love with carpet. Some of you just love your carpets and you're not going to part with them. So I understand that. What I don't love about carpet is you usually have to replace it eventually, especially if you put it on the stairs, you have to replace this stuff and it's getting more and more expensive. But if you're going to invest in carpet, stick with these colors. Look how neutral they are. I want you to see how low pile they are. People just think it doesn't collect as much dust. So it's a better investment if you do low pile. When you get carpet like this, people think it's just a bacteria holder, a dust collector, something like that. So I would suggest something like this. Now, before you make any flooring or any type of interior design selections, I highly suggest that you go visit a local design center or go to Pinterest or go look at some specialty magazines to really know what you're trying to accomplish. One of the biggest mistakes that I see homeowners making is they just start hodgepodging and they buy and do flooring and then they do their walls and then they do their kitchen all at different times, and there's not a good flow. So if you have a vision of what you want to accomplish throughout your entire home, the better and cohesive your house is going to look in the long run. It could be timeless, where you don't have to consistently upgrade your home over and over and over again with the trends. Exquisite Surfaces is one of my favorite design stores for flooring. I will link the website right here. It is absolutely stunning to go visit showrooms like this because you really get a feel for your style and how you feel when you're walking on it and touching it. Love, love, love the store. Now, to be fair, it's expensive. It's the top quality. Most of the people watching right now don't have that kind of budget or have the designers that can recommend it, but we can learn something from some of their selections and some of their designs. I bought my floors at Hardwood Galleria. My contact there is Tony. I will link his information and website here. If you do decide to purchase floors from him, he's going to give you a 5% discount with the discount code AUDRA5. AUDRA5. This is not sponsored. I get no kickbacks. I get no benefit out of referring him. I just had a good experience and just want you to be able to talk to somebody that knows what the heck they're doing, and he does. All right, the rest of the video is video footage of me at the Hardwood Galleria, because a lot of you were asking me, Audra, where'd you get your floors? I want to get those floors. So the product that I've been demonstrating, my own floors in this video, I am at the Hardwood Galleria showing you here are the engineered hardwood floors that are very close to mine because mine were discontinued. Here's the LVP version of my floors. Here's the laminate version of my floors that you can buy at Hardwood Galleria at a 5% discount to you. A lot of you have been asking me, Audra, tell me the name of your floors. And my floors have been discontinued, unfortunately. I love them. What I want you to notice is how tall they are. So this is about a 6-foot panel. It's 7 1/4 width. It's kind of a light blonde. So I came to the store that sold me these beautiful floors, and we have one that's very similar. It's called Couture. It's by the same manufacturer, which is Provenza. This is an engineered hardwood floors. They're also the same width and height. And it's not that expensive. It's $6 per square foot. Not bad, has a great result. It's always a good idea to get a sample like this one. This is the one that I just showed you, and to see what the light is trending. If you come to a hardwood floor store, you can take your sample and put it down to see how the tone is trending. So you can see it's a little bit brighter. This is warmer. This is grayer. This is a very bright floor that kind of has a whitewash to it. So a lot of you buy floors, you move into your house and you're like, oh my gosh, this is not what I ordered, which in fact it is. Okay, this is also Provenza. Now I'm not sponsored by Provenza. I just wanted to point something out. These planks are a lot wider. I prefer larger planks. They're a little bit more expensive. And of course, the longer the panel, the more expensive. So you'll see this is an 8-foot panel. Hold on. Here's my little 6-foot panel. You can see the difference. There is quite a difference. Do you see that? Now look how skinny mine looks really skinny. So the larger or the wider the panel is and the longer the panel is, the more expensive it's going to be. Now I don't suggest you put a really large panel flooring in a small space. You only do this type of flooring with oversized rooms. This is kind of the standard. If you go anything lower than 6 feet on your panel length, it looks a little cheap. It looks a little busy. So if you can, spend the extra money. I didn't go as wide on my panel because it was too costly for me. So I decided 7 1/4 width was good enough for me. If I was going to do it all over again, I would have spent the extra money and bought the wider plank, which is at 9.45 inches. It's 7 feet long. This is the one I purchased. This was $6. This one's $8. I do think it has a much more sophisticated, elegant look. It's just larger, wider. I would do this one. This is called Rivoli. It's also by Provenza. This is my floor. This is a 6-foot panel. This is something that's comparable in luxury vinyl. Now, this is the highest level luxury vinyl you can find out there. It's 30 mil. That means how thick and durable it is. So if you're looking for luxury vinyl, you need to ask, what is the thickness of it? This one's 30 mil. It goes as low as 8 mil. The lower the number, we'll just say less durable, and it's going to be less expensive the less the mil is, okay? Now, this is 10 inches wide, 7 foot tall. This particular panel is called Harvest. We will link all these colors down in the description below. Not a bad option. Now, this is going to be slightly less expensive. The install is going to be less expensive than the hardwood floor. Hardwood floor, you have glue, and it takes a little bit more labor to install hardwood floors or engineered hardwood floors as opposed to luxury vinyl. This is waterproof. This is not. Okay, this is my floor, and you're never going to believe this. This is actually laminate. This is not a bad option, right? You're looking at $3.79 to $3.99. It looks pretty. It's not bad. Now, this is a 9-inch width, 7-foot length. Very, very reasonable. Now, it does have a reputation for being inexpensive. So if you are selling a very expensive home, a luxury home, this is probably not the right option. But if you have an investment property, a rental, something like that, I mean, I'm pretty impressed with the laminates in the store. Not bad. And since we're here, the store I'm in is called Hardwood Galleria. I will link all the information down below. Contact Tony. He'll give you a 5% discount. The discount code is called Audra5. And I get no proceeds. This video is not sponsored. This is where I bought my floors. I was really happy with the service and the product, and I'm sure you will be too. Now, the colors I would avoid is things that are like on the opposite spectrum of the color wheel. So this is really red. If you already have these in your house, don't worry about it, but I would not spend money for this if you are remodeling your home. This one too, a lot of you have this in your home. It's the American oak. Now, this is a very strong product, but there's a lot of graining in it, and it leans very orangey yellow, and just not in love with that. If you have this in your house, don't worry about it. Now, here is what was going on during the farmhouse era about 10 years ago, is this gray floor. You know, if you have any of these floors, keep them. But I'm just saying, if you are investing in floors, these are colors that I would stay away from. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you got some benefit. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for your support.